Hi everyone. This lesson is going to be a little bit longer since I'm going to explain about was where, the was, the where, time expressions, and prepositions as well. So first of all, let me explain about was where, when do we use it. So positive and negative forms. Um, the past form of to be is was and where. So the structure of positive form is we have to put in the first place subject and then was where and other words. In negative form, we need to use again the same structure, but here we need to use not after was and where. As you see here, I have written like singular and plural form of positive was where. So for example, I was in the hospital, they were in the hospital, and so on. In negative form, again, singular and plural form, but in this case, we have to use the word not after was or were not, yes? Let me explain when we use was and when we use were. So if it's first person singular, we have to use was, for example, I was, yeah? And then if it's third person singular, he, she, it, we need to use again was. So in two cases, we use was in the first person and third person singular form. And in other cases, we have to use where, like you see here, in singular form, second person where, and therefore for plural form, we have to use where. In negative form, again, the same, but we have to follow not after was where. Well, what about the question form? How do we make questions? And when we question, we need to answer like, we need to give a short answer because it's a yes, no question. And this is the structure that we have to use in positive sentence that we said in the first place, we use subject and then was where, yes. But in question, we have to replace it. Like first, in the first place, you see here, we need to put was where and then subject and other words. So this is the form, singular. For example, was I in the hospital? Were in the hospital? Was she in the hospital? And so on. In plural form, again, we use where before the subject. We answer, we give short answer like yes, it was, yes, I was, no, I wasn't, yes, we were, no, we weren't, and so on. When you reply or when you just write, you can also use contraction as well, like with apostrophe. For example, I was not, you have to write like, you have to use I wasn't, you were not, you weren't, they weren't, and so on. Well, we have special questions, which questions need specific extra information. You can't answer like yes or no, because if someone asks you where was he yesterday, and you cannot answer for this question yes or no, right? So you have to give an extra information where he was yesterday. Well, this is the structure of special question. Again, we follow the same structure as in the question form, but in this case, we have to put in the first place question word, which is the WH question, or which starts with how. For example, when, what, how, why, what, which, and so on. For example, where was he yesterday? Where was I yesterday? And so on. He was at school yesterday. Where were you yesterday? You were at school yesterday, and so on. Let me explain about the word. There was, there were. So past forms of there is and there was. Oh, sorry, there is and there are there was and there were. So there is we use in present time, but in past simple, we have to use there was, yes, in the past. So, but there is and there was, they are in singular form. There are in plural, but in present. There were in plural, but in the past. Okay. So this is a positive form of there is, there was, there were, like, for example, in singular form, we said, we use there was a shop. Yes, shop is one shop, so it's singular. And there were shops. There were maybe 5, 6 shops, right? Negative form, we have to use again the word not after was or were. There was not a shop, there were not shops, for example. And contractions as well, we have to use like this. There was not, we write there wasn't. There were not, we write they weren't. Also, we have yes, no, and special questions with there was and there were. This is the form of, let's say, yes, no question. We have to put in the first place was, where, and then after there, and then other words. For example, was there a skyscraper? Yes, there was. No, there wasn't. Were there any traffic lights? Yes, there were. No, there weren't. Well, sorry. In special questions, again, the same formula, let's say the same structure, but in this case, we have to put in the first place question word, was, where, there, and then other words. For example, what building was there next to your house? So WH question, right? Question word is a what. What building was there next to your house? How many shops were there near the park? And so on. Let me explain about the time expressions. So time expression is very important, prepositions as well. So we use on with days of the week. For example, we say on Monday, on Wednesday. I have seen lessons on Tuesday, for example, yeah? And we use preposition in with seasons, months, and the words morning, evening, afternoon. My birthday is in March. So March is a month. Yes. I go to the gym in the afternoon. So the days, the parts of the day. So we use in preposition with the season, months, and the parts of the day. We use preposition at with exact times in the words week and night. For example, I have breakfast at 8 o'clock. Well, this is the time, yes, exact time. I can't sleep at night. I have a picnic at the weekend, and so on. The expressions with the words last and go also. Last night, for example, we say winter, summer, last winter, last summer, 4 hours ago, 1 year ago, and so on. But also we have to use last and ago in the past tense, okay? Well, I hope it was clear. So I explained everything about the was, where, yeah, was, where, positive, negative, and question forms. There was, there were, time expressions, and prepositions. So you have to practice more. And thank you for watching. Goodbye.